In a heartbreaking incident that has shaken the South Carolina community, the tragic murder of Jessica Barnes by her husband Brandon Barnes has drawn attention to the critical issue of domestic violence. This case not only highlights the profound impact of abusive relationships, but also raises important questions about accountability and the responsibilities of those who witness such acts. As the investigation unfolds and the legal proceedings begin, we must examine the broader implications of this tragic event on families and society as a whole. Background of the case. On August 2nd, a tragic event unfolded in South Carolina when Brandon Barnes allegedly manually strangled his wife, Jessica Barnes, in their home. This shocking incident underscores the pervasive issue of domestic violence, which continues to threaten families and communities across the nation. The gravity of such acts transcends personal tragedy. They reflect systemic societal problems that often go unaddressed. Domestic violence is not merely a personal issue, but a community crisis that can devastate entire families and ripple through social networks, leading to a range of long-term psychological effects on survivors and witnesses. As reports of domestic violence rise, it becomes increasingly clear that awareness, intervention, and support are crucial to combat this ongoing crisis. The circumstances surrounding this case illuminate the urgent need for preventive measures and community support systems to protect vulnerable individuals from potential harm. With an increasing number of victims feeling isolated and voiceless, it is imperative for communities to foster safe environments where individuals can report abuse without fear of repercussions. Furthermore, this incident raises critical questions about the efficacy of existing support mechanisms for victims of domestic violence, highlighting a significant gap in resources that often leaves individuals without the help they desperately need. The societal implications of this case extend beyond the immediate tragedy, urging a collective responsibility to advocate for change and support those who are at risk of falling victim to such violence. The discovery of Jessica's body. Jessica Barnes was reported missing on September 10th, leading to a significant investigation that would ultimately uncover her remains in Twin Lakes. The timeline of her disappearance and subsequent discovery raises critical questions about the events leading up to the tragedy. Friends and family faced an emotional roller coaster as they clung to hope while grappling with the stark reality of her fate. The search for Jessica highlighted the grim reality of domestic violence, reminding communities of the potential dangers that can lie within seemingly safe environments. The initial investigation provided insight into the days leading up to her disappearance, uncovering troubling patterns that may have gone unnoticed by those around her. Emotional turmoil swept through the community as news of her disappearance spread, prompting local authorities to rally resources to locate her. This investigation serves as a stark reminder that victims of domestic violence often go missing without a trace, making it imperative for communities to be vigilant and proactive in recognizing the signs of abuse. The emotional toll on the community was profound, as residents came to terms with the shock and grief surrounding Jessica's death. Vigils held in her memory emphasized the community's grief and reinforced the need for ongoing dialogue about domestic violence. The outpouring of support from local organizations highlighted the importance of community involvement in prevention efforts and resources available for those facing similar situations. Ultimately, the search for Jessica underscores the necessity for comprehensive education on domestic violence and the need for robust support systems to help victims escape dangerous situations. The allegations against Brandon Barnes has been charged with the murder of his wife Jessica, with investigators alleging that he intentionally and violently took her life. The nature of the allegations reveals a troubling truth about their relationship bringing to light the potential for violence that can exist within domestic settings. This case is more than just a tragic loss. It serves as a chilling reminder of how domestic violence can escalate and lead to irreversible consequences for victims and their families. As details emerge about the couple's interactions, the public is forced to confront uncomfortable truths about the reality of domestic abuse. The psychological and emotional implications of such violence extend far beyond the immediate victim, affecting families, children, and entire communities. Reports suggest that there were warning signs leading up to the tragedy, which raises concerns about the effectiveness of available interventions. This narrative encourages discussions about intervention strategies, support systems, and the importance of educating individuals on recognizing signs of abuse before they escalate. Furthermore, the case emphasizes the need for greater awareness around the dynamics of control and power in relationships, urging society to take proactive measures in preventing such tragedies. The social stigma attached to victims of domestic violence often prevents them from seeking help, and the broader implications of this case call for urgent action to change the narrative surrounding domestic abuse. Communities must come together to dismantle the barriers that hinder open dialogue about violence and ensure that resources are available for those in need. Ultimately, this case serves as a catalyst for meaningful conversations about domestic violence, highlighting the urgent need for comprehensive support systems to help victims escape abusive situations. The role of the housemates. Two housemates, Kendall Mims and Victoria Tippett, have been implicated in this tragic situation. They are accused of assisting Brandon in hiding Jessica's body after witnessing the crime, raising critical questions about accountability and the moral responsibilities of those who are aware of domestic violence situations. Their involvement highlights the complex dynamics of relationships and the difficult choices individuals face in crisis situations. The decision to conceal a crime, particularly one as severe as murder, speaks to the various factors that can influence bystander behavior, including fear, loyalty, and uncertainty. Understanding the psychology behind such decisions can provide valuable insights into the factors that prevent witnesses from coming forward in domestic violence cases. As the case unfolds, it will provoke discussions about the ethical implications of their actions and the societal obligations to intervene in situations where violence is evident. This case exemplifies the need for clear communication and resources to empower witnesses to act responsibly and seek help in dangerous situations, reinforcing the importance of community vigilance. Public opinion surrounding the housemates' actions is likely to spark heated debates about complicity and moral responsibility. The potential legal repercussions for Mims and Tippett could set precedents for how similar cases are handled in the future, emphasizing the need for stronger laws addressing accessory involvement in domestic violence situations. Community outreach programs aimed at educating potential witnesses about their responsibilities can be instrumental in preventing future tragedies. By fostering a culture of accountability and encouraging individuals to report violence, communities can take proactive steps toward addressing domestic abuse and supporting victims. Charges and legal proceedings. Brandon Barnes faces serious charges including murder, while Mims and Tippett are charged with being accessories after the fact and obstructing justice. The legal proceedings surrounding this case are expected to attract significant media attention, bringing focus to the broader implications of domestic violence and bystander involvement. As the courtroom drama unfolds, it will provide insight into how the legal system addresses these serious allegations and the ramifications for those involved. The public's scrutiny will not only be directed at Brandon's actions, but also at the legal ramifications for Mims and Tippett, highlighting the complexities of accountability in cases involving domestic violence. The case will likely serve as a litmus test for how effectively the judicial system can navigate the nuances of domestic violence and the roles of various individuals within those dynamics. This case serves as an important opportunity to foster dialogue about the legal repercussions of domestic violence and the involvement of witnesses, prompting critical discussions about the responsibilities of individuals who may witness or suspect abuse. Legal experts and advocates will closely monitor the proceedings, emphasizing the need for robust policies that protect victims and hold offenders accountable, as well as encouraging communities to foster open conversations about domestic violence and its impacts. The outcomes of the trial will have far-reaching implications, potentially influencing how future cases are prosecuted and the resources allocated to address domestic violence issues. It is essential for the legal community to prioritize victim support and rehabilitation for offenders to ensure a comprehensive approach to tackling the pervasive issue of domestic violence. Broader community impact. The tragic events surrounding Jessica Barnes's death serve as a powerful reminder of the pervasive issues of domestic violence and the complexities of accountability in such cases. This incident is not isolated. It reflects broader societal patterns that demand attention and action. The implications extend beyond the individuals directly involved, affecting families, friends, and entire communities. By raising awareness of domestic violence and encouraging community engagement, we can work towards fostering a culture that prioritizes safety and support for those at risk. The community's response to this tragedy can catalyze essential changes in how domestic violence is addressed at both local and national levels. As communities come together to discuss these tragic events, it becomes clear that collective action is essential for creating safer environments. Local organizations and advocacy groups play a crucial role in providing support and resources to those affected by domestic violence, helping to empower victims and educate bystanders. The conversations sparked by this case can serve as a catalyst for change, encouraging individuals to stand up against violence and seek help for themselves or others. Increased funding for domestic violence programs, improved training for law enforcement, and community workshops focused on recognizing and reporting abuse can help create safer environments for all. This case highlights the urgent need for collaborative efforts to address domestic violence, improve support systems, and advocate for the rights and safety of all individuals. Ultimately, by shedding light on such tragic cases, we can inspire a commitment to prevention and intervention, ensuring that future generations do not suffer similar fates. Community and societal impact. The tragic case of Jessica Barnes's murder highlights the urgent need for communities to confront the pervasive issue of domestic violence and its broader societal implications. Domestic violence affects not only the immediate victims, but also families, friends, and the community at large, creating a cycle of trauma that can last for generations. The repercussions of such violence extend into public health, economic stability, and community safety. When domestic violence goes unaddressed, it can lead to increased healthcare costs, lost productivity, and a heightened sense of fear and insecurity within neighborhoods. Communities must engage in open discussions about the signs of domestic abuse and encourage individuals to seek help. Educational initiatives can empower community members to recognize and intervene in potentially dangerous situations, ultimately fostering a culture of support and vigilance. This case serves as a wake-up call, urging communities to rally together to provide resources for victims, promote awareness, and advocate for legislative changes that prioritize safety and protection. By addressing the societal impact of domestic violence, communities can break the cycle of abuse and create safer environments for everyone. Collaborative efforts between local organizations, law enforcement, and educational institutions can lead to more effective prevention strategies and support systems. In doing so, communities not only honor the memory of victims like Jessica Barnes, but also take meaningful steps toward reducing violence and promoting healing for all affected. Thank you for joining us to discuss the tragic case of Brandon Barnes and Jessica Barnes. This story sheds light on the critical issue of domestic violence and the responsibilities of witnesses. If you found this video informative, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more essential stories. Your support helps us tackle important issues. See you in the next video.